Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we are back in Myth of Empires. Myth of Empires is a multiplayer sandbox wargame featuring a high degree of freedom. Players must survive, craft, create and lead troops in their quest to conquer territory and build their own empire. Now I'm jumping into this for a second time and I'm having a look at everything that's new, updated and basically changed for the release version of this game. I'm pretty keen. I remember being incredibly impressed by the bodies and the body shapes and pretty much everything where that was concerned in this game, and I'm excited to see if everything else has been brought up to that same level of customizability and quality, because it was phenomenal when I had a look at it before. So hey, we're jumping in. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Myth of Empires, you can find some links below. There will also be timestamps as always. And with that said, we are jumping in. You have a choice here between male and female, so we're going to have a look at the male options first, then we'll jump into female, and there will be a randomization section at the end of every one of those parts, along with the voices and tattoos and all that other stuff. I'll split it up nicely, so once again, just use the timestamps. So, jumping in, start in. Your first choice is a preset. It's basically the face. It's kind of funny because I look at it and the preview that they give you here changes entirely. It might be a bug, I'm not sure, but what's happening right now is only the face and skin color is changing, and the hair and the style isn't changing along with it. You can see the body shapes actually also staying the same. So this might just not be fully implemented yet. It might be that they haven't properly set this up, but you can have a look at the different presets that they have and you can sort of pick a face that I guess works for you. There are a few different choices here. They are not too different. They all have the same, let's just say, style. They have the same or similar type of look to them. This one's a little different, I suppose. And I think this one might be a little different too. Yeah, this one looks a little different too. I mean, these first few, they all look kind of similar. That said, it's not really important. These presets, nah. There's a lot of options in this game, and we're going to go through them all right now. However, the best part of the entire video is arriving. The body options. So, I started on this before, and I was like, yeah, okay, height. Oh, right, that's moving around a little bit, kind of cool. You know, they literally just scaling the body up. There's no actual change with, like, the shape, the form, the muscularity. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's nice, you know? But then, I moved the fat slider, and this is legitimately one of the most natural and best feeling sliders to drag around in any character creation that I've done. Just have a look at this. So you can pull it down. And that's like, yeah, alright. Here's a skinny dude. Sure. Keep in mind the muscles are on the lowest as well right now. But yeah. Okay. And it looks pretty natural for a skinny dude, right? That's what they look like, sure. But then when you pull it up, just have a look at this. It's so nicely done. It's so smooth. The body reacts how you'd expect it to react. Sorry, I'm nerding out over a fat slider. I can't help it. It just looks good. Usually, when they put stuff like this in games, what ends up happening 90% of the time is there's clipping. There's so much clipping. It looks horrible. The moment you start moving the fat slider above a certain percent, it just breaks the game. However, these guys, they figured it out. They seem to know exactly what they're doing. It is incredibly nicely done. I mean, I know it sounds kind of weird me sitting here saying, oh, this is so satisfying, pulling it up and making the dude fat. No, man, don't get me wrong here. It's the technical stuff that's going on behind the scenes here, the way they've set this up. Like, legitimately, I would say this is second to none. There are so few games that do it as well as this. So, like, just enjoy it with me. Now, there's a muscle slider, and what's kind of cool about the muscle slider is you can drag it up here and you can see basically nothing's changing, but if you go a little, because you know, you wouldn't see the muscles under all of that fat, but if you go a little down and then you drag it up, you can see, ooh, we've got some movement. You pull it around a little bit, yeah, it's like firming up a bit, and then if you come to about here, you can actually really see the muscles take shape. And you can become like a proper barrel-chested gentleman. Like this is a large fellow that you would not mess with. And you can actually, like, once again, you can go sort of anywhere you want here. And if you pull it down to, like, the ideal, I guess you could say weight, then there's obviously much more going on. And again, like, look at those legs, as an example. Look at the pecs, how they move around, the biceps, the calves. Oh, my God. I mean, I can zoom in here and actually move this around. I think there's a free camera mode, WASD. Yeah, there we go. It's incredibly detailed. It's really well done. The way... like, have a look at this. Have a look at this. Okay, have a look at this. The way the body reacts when you actually drag this around, the muscles grow in the right places. I mean, Jesus, thighs like tree trunks, man. It's nice. And again, when you pull the fat slider, I'm sorry if this view is making you guys uncomfortable. but like, this is science, man. We're just having a look at it. Now, I have one, I want to say, like, dude, oh God, oh jeez, look at that. Look at the face, even the face, I guess if I have to, like, really nitpick, I have one area where I feel it doesn't work as well. One little complaint is I feel when it gets smaller, then they're just making it smaller for the sake of smaller. But no, it's not really even a complaint. It just looks fantastic. It's incredibly well done. So like, okay, as we finish up nerding out about this, it's amazing. It looks great. And you can really be free with everything you can do. And this is great on the female side as well. So skip to that if you want to see that too. Our next slider here, sorry, and I took ages on this, is the dirt slider. It is what it says it is. You can make your character dirty. That's it. Then next up we have some skin color choices. They are grounding the creation in reality, in a sense, where they're giving you a selection of skin tones here. And I like this. I think it looks fantastic. I do believe they could have given us some slightly paler options. But I think that, once again, because of the era you've been funneled into, because of the style of the characters that you've been funneled into, because of the role that you play in, these skin tones make sense, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. The texture work is just, once again, fantastic. As you zoom in here, and if you look at just how the skin reacts to this, I'm trying to scroll down. There we go. Oh my God. It's terrible. It keeps jumping around. If you just look at the reflections, the texture work, the individual little pores that you can see on the skin, it's very well done. Very, very nice. Incredibly cool. So yeah, you got the pre-made skin colors, the serve-in suggestions as they are, and then you can actually drag it around and pick whatever you want. These options down here, we're going to come back and look at randomize when we're done with everything, right? But this just allows you to save and import skins, so you can share them around if you'd like to. Next up, we're going to go for the face customization. You can zoom all the way in here and it just looks phenomenal once again. Cheekbones, we're starting over here. Very, very cool, the amount of options that they give you. And once again, very cool how much they move around. It's like, I jump in here and it's one of these games that I just don't see people talking about all that much. That was the width. This is the depth of the cheeks. It's one of those games that I just don't see in the news all that much. And I mean, I understand if the game itself isn't measuring up to people's expectations or whatever you want to say. This is the lower jaw now. But, you know, at the same time, it is a bit of a pity because they've got an awesome character creation system here. And I mean, sure, you know, you might not have like a vibrant and full of life system where there's like bright colors and happy shades you can put on your character and all sorts of, like, you know, just exciting options. No, it is once again sticking with a certain theme, and it's doing that theme so well. Again, it's just, to me, a bit of a pity. This is the neck. You can see down here, we're working on the sort of the Adam's apple section. I don't know. That's actually more the jowls, but like close enough. This is the width of the neck, if you look over here. But like, I'm just trying to say that it's a bit of a pity because the game seems like it has an awesome character creation section. That's the Adam's apple. There you go. Like a fantastic system that probably a lot of people just won't see, you know? And I mean, this is why I'm making videos for stuff like this. Here's the chin stuff, height, width. The width is kind of nice. It's cool how square-jawed you can make this guy if you mess with the jaw and the chin stuff. The mandible is quite interesting. It is the entirety of the jaw. I've seen a couple of really weird translations here. It's once again just an Asian game that's been translated to English, so their let's just say their wording on some stuff is a little weird. But this is an awesome option because you can go to like ridiculous proportions here, and you can make your character look like a proper Giga Chad, and it's great. And like a lot of these settings, when you bring them all together, they do quite a lot. You know, they do quite a lot. That's the height, and this will be the width if we look from the side here. It's kind of fantastic. If you pull all of these to the max, you're left with quite something. That's quite something. I'll put it back to the middle just so we don't get too distracted by it. Here's the jaw angle. Once again, another really cool option. The edge. It's basically this is basically the height of the jaw, and that's the width. I'm not sure again why they do that. And this is the jowls. So the jowls, once again, if you have like a bigger or a fatter face, it'll be more impactful. And with a skinnier face, it'll be less impactful. That's the face options done. And that basically brings us to the end of the body options. But when we move on to the next step now, this is the next part of the customization. It's the details. I would call it that, basically. So we're going to work on the eyes now, the nose, the mouth, the ears, and the hair. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I love it. I love it. You know, thank you. The amount of options that they give us here is just phenomenal. They basically just giving us full control. They're not letting us, like, you know, pull these sliders around and actually not see what's changing. They just allowing us to have fun with the system. And I mean, that's like the whole thing is just a why not, you know? You sometimes sit here and you're like, why are these sliders even here? Why would the devs put them here? There's really no point. Like, sliding it around basically does nothing. This is not that game. This is not that kind of situation. Onto the nose. Here they're actually giving us a whole lot of freedom, and it's awesome. It's refreshing. It's nice to see. Although we have jumped into a few games with a lot of freedom recently, it's still like people... yeah. People prefer having more options instead of less. More control instead of less. This is the nose bridge. Lots of options here once again. And it is one of those situations where you can really deform the character by messing around. This is the tip. And you will see that when we start randomizing. I think the randomization system is pretty complete. It's pretty thorough where that's concerned. It's kind of nice. And I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. I'm talking a whole lot. The mouth, like, this is outrageously big. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. I'm just having fun with this. This is, again, like, it's I want to say it's a natural feeling movement. The movement feels quite good, which is sick. It's what you want, right? It's what you want. I'm going to have so much fun making the thumbnail characters for this. Because, like, again, you have to imagine how much you can actually move things around. And you'll see. You don't have to, like, you know, try and picture it right now. I will show it to you when you get to the randomization section. You will see there's a lot of options on the mouth here. You can make your character look pouty, you can make him look happy, unhappy, any old thing. It's awesome. Now the ears, and you may have been realizing that the hair actually looks really nice. There are some fantastic hairstyles, although they do sort of funnel you into a certain style with them. There are some really nice styles to choose from. The ear options, once again, pretty outrageous if you move them all a lot. Lots of different angles, sizes, stuff like that. Even the earlobes can be set. That's the orientation. And now the hair. Finally the hair. So, you can go bald. That's the default style that they seem to have on everyone. This one is actually pretty cool. I mean, I actually kind of like that. It's like if you're balding, but you still want to be a little crazy with your hairstyle. Very nice ponytail. You will notice the hair physics are great. And... you know, when you zoom in all the way, and the graphics are obviously maxed out for this. I've got everything pushed to the highest. When you zoom in all the way, you can see a lot of fine detail in there. It is quite well done. And this is probably one of the places where I've seen the most improvement from launch. It's for launch, from the earlier tests that they did. So basically, when we had, I think, in the previous test that I played, which was a good few months ago, I think we had 2 pages of hairstyles. And that was it. And now we've got a full 4 pages. And I do feel like the hair itself just looks a little better now. There are a few options that are sort of similar. And they once again do the kind of stubble that I personally really like. Stubble that doesn't look bad. But the styles, yeah, man. They're kind of cool. You will notice that there are less shorter styles, and these are more what you would call, I guess, traditional styles. It's kind of hard to sort of put it into that box because it's not really in that box. I wouldn't call this a traditional style. This is just a goddamn ponytail. But you can see that there are less shorter styles, and these are more the kind of styles you'd expect from this era. And I like it. I like it. You know, they made this as like a war game. It's got you in that specific setting, and you playing that role when you jump in here. So I guess it kind of makes sense, you know? It kind of makes sense. I do believe it would be cool if they added some shorter styles, but I would not in any way, shape, or form fault them for not having that, especially considering the kind of game that they made here. So the hair colors, they are also, you know, they're nice, but the way that it's set up, you can see, you can actually get some pretty bright colors here, and like, it's great. Like, there's a lot going on, but they are a little samey, I suppose. Like, there are some that, like, for instance, all of these are really dark. But again, it's like one of those situations where if you're going for realistic styles, and you're going for styles in an era where I guess hair dye wasn't really a big thing, then yeah, man, I guess this makes sense. I really like the blonde. I think it looks amazing. You'd have to set the character and the face and the rest of the style up to suit that, to make it look good. But I think it's really cool. They've got this, like, I would call that like a strawberry blonde, right? Which is nice. It's nice to see that, because it's a realistic style. The one that I think is missing is sort of like the proper reds aren't here. But again, maybe red hair was just not common in this time or with this group of people. So yeah, man. All right, there we go. Beards. These have also improved quite a lot. I am a big fan of what they've done with the beard. Like, I think that's actually an understatement. They've improved a whole lot. Just the sheer amount of beards that they have here, and I feel like, yeah, man, this is good facial hair for the most part. They have these sort of tufty looking styles, which I appreciate, because again, it's like, hey, you can sort of make yourself you don't feel ostracized. You know, you feel like you've been seen. Yeah, you've been seen. And then they've got these beautiful smooth styles. Like, dude, I don't even know. I wish I could make my beard look like this. I really do. I wish. But once again, you can see that the styles that they have here do sort of suit the theme that they're going with, and that's awesome. Like, I will not for a second complain about it. I do wish we could move this camera around a little differently. There we go. That's cool. They have some bigger beards that are more traditional, just standard, straightforward beards. But, like, there's a huge selection here. And it's really cool. It's really well done. I wish I could zoom in even more, because I feel like it would hold up. It's just the kind of system where it would definitely hold up. And here, this is sort of where I would say most of the other games, they settle on this. Where you have the curly hair, it's not so well groomed and well kept, but the curly beard versus the straight beard, it's a very different look and feel, but it's good to have them both. Once again, you're just giving the dudes that make characters here all the options. This is fantastic as well. This is basically me. Mr. Bum Fluff. That's it. I got some fluff on my face. That's the best I can do, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Patchy fluff. And then they got this monstrosity. It's amazing. They had to add this one. They had to. It was a requirement. And then you have to take the grey hair color over here and the grey beard color over here. And that said, the beard colors are the same as the hair colors. So you can sort of pick matching. And it's beautiful. This is just beautiful. I want to touch that beard. I want to run my fingers through it. I want to go and find a hairbrush and then just sit with this dude laying his head against my chest, and I want to brush his beard for hours on end. I just want to do that, man. That's all I want to do. Is that weird? I don't think it's weird. No, it's a natural reaction. That's what it is. Let's just take a smaller one so that we can continue with the rest of it, or let's just take the beard off for now. And yeah, I want to say it's kind of nicely done. Eyebrows? And yeah, when you do jump in here, if you do for yourself, just remember you can scroll down. They kind of hide these stuff. You can very much change the tone of the face by using this. And the depth. Sort of change the feel, the mood that you go in for. Height. There you go. And width. Decent options. Very, very decent. That does actually bring us to the end of the regular options. And, man, you can see for yourselves, there's a whole lot here. When we randomize, we're almost there, you will see all of them come together. The final part is the tattoos. Now, this is a very interesting system that they've got here, and it's quite a free system in how it works. Basically, you have all the different parts of the body. We're going to start with torso, but you have every part here, torso, and then arms and legs, right? And the torso is well, it's quite a big section already. This includes, as you can see, the face. Now, you add a tattoo here, you can remove it, right? So you click default, you remove it, but you add a tattoo, then it adds tattoo number 0 here. Then you can pick any of these, and I'll show you what they look like. I'm just wondering, I don't know if all of them have, or any of them have something on the back. No, okay. So you pick your tattoo over here, and then you can find something that you like, and you're gonna want to vertical, there we go, move it around a little bit, because you will see that it sort of overlaps onto the mouth sometimes. So you're gonna want to work on the positioning, you know, but you'll pick the one you want here, and there's a lot. Like you can see, it's 11 pages. There's a lot, and I'm gonna just go through them like this. I'm sorry if it's like not showing it off properly and up close, but there's just a lot to look at. So if I dawdle too long, says the guy who just dawdled super duper long on other stuff, then I'll never get done with this. But here you go. There's some colored tattoos. There's some basic ones with single colors. There's some written text, I suppose you could call it. There's like actual full books you can print on yourself here. Some nice animals. There's a good bunch of stuff. And there's a lot of freedom that comes along with all these designs. So I'm just showing you the designs right now, and you can see what they are, and you can see how detailed they are, right? You can see how detailed these things are. They're super detailed. But when you've had a look at all of them, I'll show you. You can actually move them around quite a bit. There's a lot of freedom that comes along with it. And there's also a lot that you can do when you start combining. I mean, it's beautiful. Look at the nice colors. When you start combining the different tattoos. So basically, you can pick a bunch of different tattoos and layer them on. I'm not sure what the limit is, but let's do it like this. I'll show it to you like this. I'll take this one for now. Then I'm going to show you how much this one can move around. So horizontal movement can go around. And if you take it all the way around, you will notice that it puts it on your back. So keep that in mind. You can put it wherever you want it. If you got it on the back, you can move it vertically as well. And that can go all the way down into your underwear and all the way up onto your neck. Once again, quite important, because if you have a bald head, it can go up on your head. Then you can zoom it, which is... you're going to do the combination for this, basically. So you'll zoom it to make it bigger. And you will notice that the quality does drop a little bit when you zoom it. It depends. It's like from tattoo to tattoo it changes. You know, on some of them it retains a lot of the detail, on others it doesn't. You can rotate it, which does what it says it does. You can rotate it all the way around. And then you can change the luminosity, which is the opacity, right? But that's not the end. When you add another one, then you can actually just pop a whole nother tattoo on here. So if we move this down a little bit, we'll take, again, just as an example, we'll take this on his chest. Then you can add another one. And yeah, you can just keep going. And basically, you can keep adding these until you're happy with the amount that you have. And you can keep putting them everywhere on the character. So when you're done with the torso, I mean, like, yeah, that looks fantastic. Cool, cool, cool. Then I can move on to the left arm. And I've got all the same designs here. They look a little weird when they're stretched around an arm. Some of it looks kind of stupid. But you can actually do this. You can sort of put it there. They don't always translate quite as nicely, but you can change the size. So if you make them bigger here, then you can see they look a little different and a little better. Then you can move it around on the arm, so you can sort of pop it wherever you want it. The system gives you a lot of freedom in that regard. The system gives you basically all you could need, because you can just keep adding tattoos, and you can like really, you can spam the crap out of this guy with tattoos. You can put tattoos in every slot. You can fill the entire body with ink if that's what you'd like to do, and it's awesome. Freedom. It's just freedom. So, I'll take that away as to not distract you. And then we're going to jump onto the last section for male. It's the voices. Let's give these a listen quickly.
跟上，跟上，跟上，跟上，
跟上，跟上，
攻击，攻击，
攻击！
呵，呵，
嘿，
呵，嘿，
全体出发！全体出发！
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 攻击！攻击！攻击！
攻击！攻击！
攻击！攻击！全军突击！
哇！
全体出发！
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 攻击！攻击！攻击！攻击！
攻击！攻击！
So yeah, you have a lot of freedom over the way the voice is done. I mean, with this combination with the 3 voices and then the pitch, there's a whole lot you can do. I'm going to say the pitch is a lazy system. It's like they're not actually giving you a different... They're using just a voice changing program. They push in the pitch up. It's like they just moving the slider up. So you can hear it's like... It doesn't always sound perfect, but it's more than enough. And specifically when you go for the deeper voices like this one, it sounds fine. You know, it sounds really good. You can't really hear that they've changed it. When you go for the higher one, then it gets that tinny sound on some of it. So yeah, overall the voices are fine. It's like more than you'd need, I'd say. You only get to pick the male ones on the male character. That is the limitation. So now we're going to go back to the start. Press default over here. And I'm going to show you how Randomize looks. You're going to see some of the horrific options that are available. I wonder if I can do this. Let's see. No, it's going to keep zooming out. But basically, you will see that the Randomize system actually does tattoos and stuff as well. And they don't hold back on the face. So you can see that, like, yeah, they push it a little to the max. They make the character bigger, smaller. Tattoos can literally be anywhere with this system. And it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Because, you know, you get ridiculous looking faces. You get, well, nightmare fuel sometimes. And it's kind of cool. Like, you will not find me... You will not hear me complaining about this, not even for a second. I love when you can do it. I love when you can make this handsome, beautiful, pristine model of a character. But I like the flip side as well. I like when you can make that grotesque nightmare fuel amalgamation that should not be seen. You know, I like when you can do the ridiculous stuff. And it makes the game more fun, you know? It makes the game much more fun. Imagine one of these weird-looking dudes charging at the head of an army to attack your base or something. It'll be terrifying. Yeah. So, yeah. Overall, awesome. So many good options available. So much you can do. But that's just the male side of things. We are now going to jump on to the females. Once again, my favorite part is definitely the body shape. Females. The female body shape, I at first when I jumped in here, I thought to myself, it was a little strange. You know, their proportions are a little weird, and I think that the male body shape looked overall a little more natural than the female body shape, but I still think it's more than okay, and it also reacts quite nicely when you change the body stuff. You'll see when we jump in here. But let's get started on the female. As with the male, we're going to jump into the body stuff here, the skin colors and stuff like that. Then we'll do the face and head customization. Then we'll move on to the details and the tattoos and the voices. So let's first look at the presets over here. I'm going to see if I can just get the camera locked in place. No, it doesn't work like that. It keeps zooming me out. The presets are, as you can see, only really changing the face, and it's sort of a serve-in suggestion kind of situation where they give you slightly different looking faces. You can see that it was meant to actually give you a hairstyle along with it, and most likely a body shape along with it, but I don't think they got that far. There are some nice looking faces, really nice ones for you to pick from, and honestly I believe that they are more than enough. Like, you could easily jump in here and just, you know, pick the one that you like and go for it. It's okay. It's a good system like that. But the customization is too good, in my opinion, to leave out. So let's have a look at it. We're going to take the first one. Again, the presets, nothing special there. But let's have a look. You can change the height. Yeah, fine. It moves the character, it makes it a little bigger, smaller. It's like just literally scaling it up and down. And then here's the best slider in the whole game. This is the sole reason that I rate this character creation system as highly as I do. This right here, this one slider. Because I love it. I love the way it's done. So here's the body. Let's go skinny, okay? We can pull some weight off. You can see she starts looking a little sickly. Like those arms are going to snap if she had to try hit someone with them, let alone be hit by someone. It's crazy. It's like, it's on the verge of being a little freaky, you know? But when you start pulling it up, and I mean, and listen, don't get me wrong, this is most likely quite realistic. But when you start pulling it up, this is when the magic happens. It's so well done. This is probably the most natural fat slider that I've ever seen. And I've done a whole lot of character creation videos. I've not seen one that moves as seamlessly between the body shapes as this. And it's fascinating to me that these guys are able to make this work, where so many other games cannot for the life of them make a bigger model without having it clip a million different ways. It is incredibly nicely done. Like, this is really, really cool. It's so good. And if you zoom in and have a look at it, let me show you, alright? Like, it changes, man. And like, as it changes, you can see all the different parts moving around. And the detail is there. Let me just... Oh, God. The camera is a little difficult. Sorry, it's unwieldy. The detail is there, and they've done it incredibly nicely. It's fantastic. The fat actually moves around to all the right places. The females, they react differently when you make them bigger and smaller than the males do. It's incredibly impressive. Then, if that wasn't enough, there's a muscle slider. And the muscle slider, in my opinion, makes the females look a little better. I know that it's not everyone's cup of tea, but you can take the muscles off completely. I believe that the arms and the shoulders look a little weird when the muscles are low, but you can push it up, and it's quite impressive. You don't get the muscles actually visible when you're on the skinniest setting, as you can see, and you also don't get them on the biggest setting. So the muscles are for this middle section. If I leave it on the full, you'll see when you get to around here, you can like really start making dude, like an absolute brick wall of a woman, and it's amazing. It's perfect. It's ideal. Like this right here is the perfect female form, especially on the battlefield. All right, I will hear nothing else on the subject. So it's really nicely done. Their muscles are slightly less pronounced than the male ones, but they do look really good. Then your final option here is the dirt. You can put dirt on your character. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I realize once again that most guys or most people on the internet don't like throwing muscles on the ladies, but for me, it is absolute perfection. Perfection. This, again, with the female body shape, I will just nitpick a little bit, and I'll say that there are some proportions that I feel are not great, but it's alright. It's good. It's good. This makes up for it. This right here. This. And again, you can also look at the face. It changes quite a lot when you move this around. It's very cool. Very cool. Let's leave that in the middle over there. Skin color. You have this whole box here to choose from, grounded in reality, as these games oftentimes are, where you have some cooler tones, you have some warmer tones, you have sort of a lighter tone that's kind of light. I do believe it would be cool if they gave us a slightly paler color, but I think that it's important that we realize when we jump in here that we are jumping into a certain role, into a certain period of time, and this is what they had then, this is what they want us to play as, and that's cool. You know, that makes sense. It's sort of an upfront thing that you need to know. There are some presets though. These serving suggestions are fine. They're good. You pick the one you want, you jump in, you game. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. These options down here, you can save and import skins that you've saved and, well, got on your PC, and randomize we're going to look at the end. Okay, so customization. Let's zoom in on the face quickly. First up, cheekbones. There's a lot here. There's a lot, and I'm very impressed by all of it. There is a huge amount of freedom. That's the size. Here's the depth, and it makes for a much more fun experience. The fact that you can actually jump in here and change as much as you can. Here's the depth, so you can make your cheeks quite gaunt or bigger. It's kind of nicely done. The lower jaw. There's a lot of jaw options. You will see that, like, with all these options, If you fiddle with them and you pull them around a little bit, you can make some pretty cool stuff or some pretty terrifying stuff. Here's the neck. The thickness, wow, the width, as it were. And then the depth. That's the Adam's apple, basic. Oh, no, actually, that's the whole neck. On the male, it was more of the Adam's apple. Let's put this in the middle for now. Chin. Kind of nice. Some decent movement there, and then you can actually make it squarer with the width. It's cool. And then the mandible, as they call it. It's kind of amazing. I love how much this moves the face. How much it interacts with the face. Once again, this is probably my second favorite part of the character creation system. These options right here, these 4 sliders. Because you can actually go like full, like check the size of that jaw. Damn, dude. That's impressive. Again, though, pull these sliders around with the utmost of caution. Because you can really mess your character up. Here's the jaw angle. Or just press the default button when you finished fiddling. Because, yeah. The edge. And then the jowls. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. And speaking of the default button, boom. Oh no, oh no. Okay. So that's it for the face structure options, right? A lot of cool options here, a lot you can do. Now we're going to move on to the details. I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but that's what I call it. First up, the eyes. I did find it kind of weird that you don't get to change the eye color, but hey, you know, it's whatever. Eye size, quite a lot of movement here. Angle, depth, that's only really visible from this side. There you go. Height and width. And then you can change the eyeball scale, which is a weird option. Nose. The nose options are kind of impressive. There's a lot of them here. And I feel like you'll see when I randomize that there's actually quite a lot that you can change and do, and there are quite a lot of horrific combinations available. It's the bridge, the nose tip. There you go. And the width. Alright, mouth. These are quite impressive as well. You can make a real butt face with this, with a teeny little mouth and like a massive face. Or you can make a huge, like that's pretty insane. Those are big lips, dude. There's a few things that I feel like are kind of weird that they're not included. There's like zero proper makeup here. And it's not that I want makeup in my character creation. I barely ever use it. But it would be a nice fit for this. And then as I mentioned, you don't actually have any other control over the face stuff. Like the eye colors. Like that's not even really a thing here. Unless I somehow missed it somewhere. I don't know. The lip options here, while they don't do much on their own, if you combine all of them, you can get some pretty big changes to happen. Ears. Let's just change the hairstyle, take it off so we can see the ears. A lot of movement on the ears, you can do quite a lot with it. But this is again one of those options that you're going to sort of fiddle with this and then accidentally leave one of these sliders maxed. And then you're going to get into the game and you're going to realize that you got like some horrific Dumbo ears here and it's going to be, whoops. So again, move these with care. Earlobes and orientation. Orientation's barely doing anything, but it's visible from the side there. That's it for the ears. Finally, the hair. I always enjoy doing the hair. There's different styles for the males and females. They are split. I don't exactly know why. I feel like they could easily both have the same styles and that would be cool. But it's fine, I guess, at the end of the day. The hairstyles in this and the hair texture and basically everything they've done with the hair is phenomenal. It's great. It really is like, it's perfection. My only complaint on the male side was that they didn't have a lot of short styles, but I'm guessing, and I don't know if this is a fact, but I'm guessing that that was sort of what was common at that period in time, or in, let's just say, the law of the world that we're jumping into. I don't know. They must have a reason for not having the short styles. Whatever it is, it's not a big deal because they give you so many really good long styles that, yeah, it's all good. Some really nice hairstyles here. And this is probably the one part, I would say, of the game that has improved the most. This is really nice work here on the side, where they've got the stubble underneath and then the short hair on top. But basically, since the initial tests that I checked out, there's a bunch of new hairstyles here, and the hair honestly looks way better. Especially when you zoom all the way in and look at it up close. So yeah, pretty decent. I am a fan of the hairstyles that they have here. It's really cool. Let's take... Which one can we take? Doesn't really matter. We'll take the default one for now. Hair colors. Decent selection. Man, you know, initially my knee-jerk reaction was to say that it's not that great, sort of set of choices. And I said that the red styles weren't that nice. And I'll still agree with the red style, or the red colors part. Like, I feel like the reds are not very red. But again, if you sort of look at it, maybe that's meant to be. That's the way they wanted it. However, it's like they have the blonde colors here. So if they have blonde, like, theoretically they should also have the red. They got this nice strawberry blonde as well, which is like halfway between brown and blonde and red. It's like sort of somewhere in the middle there. And the gray colors are actually really nice. And the colors that they do have, once again, they're deep, they're vibrant, they're lush looking. It's cool. It's nice. They look nice, but it would be cool if we had a little bit more there. Teeny weeny, bit more. No beards on the ladies, unfortunately. Our final set of options here is the eyebrows. They are pretty important. You can make your character look slightly more sympathetic, slightly angrier with the eyebrows, more concerned or curious, I suppose. There's a lot of stuff to do. This width doesn't really seem to change all that much on the lady. Weird. But yeah, that's basically all the options over here. And we're moving on to the next one now. So when you're finished with all the customization, with all the details and stuff, then there is the tattoo section. This is a section I'm not going to spend too much time on, but I'm going to explain how it works. Now, you pop a tattoo wherever you want it, right? Then you can move it around. Now, the ladies, unfortunately, they have the strap over the chest and the little skirt thingy, the loincloth, so you can't really see the tattoo fully. There's some parts that are hidden, but you can just use your imagination, I suppose, and just pretend you know what it looks like underneath here. You can get the gist of it by looking at it, right? So there are some big and detailed tattoos here. You have a lot of control over how to move them around. I will show you that once I've showed you all the designs. Let's just move this up a little more so we can see. There you go. Once I've showed you all the designs, I will show you how you can actually modify them. And the way this system works is they give you a bunch of slots, and you can just keep adding more and more and more and more to them. And I mean, honestly, it's the perfect system for tattoos. Yeah, they could have had some slightly different, I want to say more simplistic tattoos, but with the amount of options that they have here, I feel like you could make simplistic ones. You could sort of make these detailed ones, I want to say, work in a simplistic way. I don't know. But there are some decent combinations here. And keep in mind, each one of these options is basically going to be the same no matter where you put it, right? So when you pick a style, when you pick the one you want, you can move horizontally. If you move it horizontally, you can actually move it all the way around onto the back, middle of the back, right there. And then you can also move it vertically all the way down to the butt and all the way up onto the head. So if you have a bald head, you can actually see it there. Then you can do a zoom to make it bigger, if you'd like, or make it smaller, which is also, like, again, I said you can sort of mess with it and make it how the way you want it, and you can rotate it. And with all of this, you will see that there's just an unlimited number of options. Then you can change the opacity. So when you've done all of that, you can actually then just click again, add another one, move it around a little bit, and you can be like, yeah, there we go, breast tiger. And you can go and pick another one over here, the elephant. You know where that's supposed to go. That goes all the way down here. There you go. We'll definitely leave the rest of this to the imagination. You guys know where the trunk is going. And yeah, you just keep adding. So basically, you pick the next slot, left leg, you add a tattoo there, you customize it, you pick right leg, you add a tattoo there, you customize it. And at the end of the day, you're going to have a whole lot. Your character is going to be chock full of fascinating artwork. And again, it is quite nice. They scale quite nicely. Even if you make it like on the biggest possible setting, you will probably still see some decent detail on it, right? Where are we? Here we go. Even if you make it really big, it still looks pretty decent, right? And yeah, you can put it on the face. I figured this out like kind of early on. You can make some pretty terrifying looking stuff by overlaying the tattoos onto the faces. And why not, man? Why not? Why the hell not? So that's the tattoo system. It's nice. It works well. Our last stop here before we randomize is going to be the voices. So I'll let you guys stare at this lady and question my choices for a little longer while I show you how the voice system looks or sounds.
Here! 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 下马作战！下马作战！下马作战！攻击！攻击！攻击 ！Here! 呵！
耶耶耶！
呵耶呵，下马作战，
下马作战！攻击！攻击！
攻击攻击！
耶！啊！嚯！全体出发！全体出发！呵！
嚯嚯！
耶啊！
全体出发！
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 攻击！攻击！
攻击！攻击！
攻击攻击！
嘿！嘿！
耶耶！
耶！全体出发！
全体出发！
全体出发！
攻击！攻击！攻击！攻击！
攻击攻击！
So as you can see, or hear, there's a decent amount of variety. It doesn't always sound great. Like sometimes when you listen to them, you can hear sort of a tinny sound because of the pitch shifting around. The voices, the quality and stuff isn't amazing, but it's definitely good enough. There's more than enough here with the 3 voices and the pitch changes that you can make. You're good to go. It's nothing to complain about. There's more than you need there. Now, as we finish this up, I'm going to go back to the body here, and we're going to randomize a little bit, and you will see just what's possible with this system. Immediately, we are getting characters that just look completely different than the one we made. 100% different. Check that out. That actually looks really cool. Like, I mean, geez. Yeah. There you go. The face looks a little weird, but like, and the nose is a little sharp. But that's kind of cool. The randomization section here, it's like, you get everything with it. You can see that they go with tattoos full on. And you can see that the tattoos are a little like, they preset. Like you can see there's oftentimes ones on the face. They sort of put it in the middle of the zone. And it sort of, it has a lot of repeat stuff happening. But like the randomization system really does give you a good look at the different options that you can sort of mess around with. Like the face stuff, for instance, the body stuff. As you combine it here and you look at all the different options, you can see that the creation system really is capable of a whole lot. And yeah, I think if you jump in here and you want to mess around, you want to make something completely crazy and out there, yeah, man, you chose the right game. And I mean, I'm 100% sure you can make some really phenomenal looking characters, or you can make some really scary looking ones. But there you go. That's the randomization. And that does bring us to the end of this video. So yeah, Myth of Empires. I am so thoroughly impressed by some of this stuff. As I have said multiple times, the body options, the way the body morphs, how it shifts between the different weights is some of the best I've ever seen. Some of the texture work that they have here, some of the details on the model itself, so good. So damn good. There are a few things that I feel could be improved upon. Like there are a few places, like as an example, I didn't find a place to change the eye color. I don't know if I missed it somehow. I don't know. It would be cool if there were a few more options for fine tuning. But I want to say overall, it's a pretty fantastic system. Like there's very little to complain about. You could have some fine tuning for the body if you wanted, but I do feel like the system that they have right now is kind of cool. I wouldn't complain about it. I did mention, yeah, maybe some shorter styles, but that's also sort of a niggle that someone like me might have and other people might not agree with. And overall, I just want to say for a game like this, this is like, it's more than enough. It's more than one would generally even want to ask for. They've done a great job. Yeah, I mean, I'm just impressed. It's cool. And I hope that a lot more people see this. I hope that people either watch this video or see the game, because there's a lot, you know? It's got a lot going for it. And it's cool. If you can jump in here, experience something like this, then the next game you jump into that has character creation, you can sort of compare them, and you can see that this actually is quite a special system. I mean, I know that now because I've seen so many different character creation systems, and I know that this is something that's pretty rare. So hey guys, enjoy it, and if you do manage to make something like truly magnificent, let me know, and let me know what you think about the game if you've been playing for yourself. I'd love to hear about it. With that said, however, I am finished. You can, as always, find my links below, my Ko-fi page, my Twitch stream, and all the rest. Give this one a like, and share it, and do all that other good stuff if you haven't already, and hey, subscribe. But there you go, Myth of Empires. Pretty cool, good systems. I like it. So if you're making a character, if you're playing the game, enjoy. Happy that.